this is Anthony Monteith from Cup of Chi, and this is episode 24, I believe. I have a very special guest with me. I'm going to try to pronounce his name correctly. Please forgive me. It's Toru Nakamura. And Toru is a practitioner of, specifically, I believe, of Kiiko Matsumoto style, I think. You can correct me afterwards. I'm sorry, my pronunciation is very bad. But predominantly a Japanese style of acupuncture. And what we'd like to do is share a little bit of information about how he works, what he does, where he's based. So I'll hand it over to you, Toru. Could you tell the viewers a little bit about yourself, your journey, where you started, and now tell us where you're at today?
Okay. Hello, everybody. My name is Toru Nakamura from Japan. And now I live in Spain for 3 years and a half. Now in here, I'm working as an acupuncturist and also teach Japanese acupuncture for the people in Spain, in Portugal, Italy, yes, the other places, countries as well. I'm sorry. Sometimes I talk in Spanish. I'm sorry. Yeah, but
that's okay. That's okay.
Yeah.
I'm not habla español, so you have to go English as best you can. My Japanese is rubbish.
Okay. Yeah, I try to talk all of my words in English. Okay. And see, as Anthony said, I practice especially Japanese acupuncture. At first, many people ask me what is the differences between Chinese acupuncture and Japanese acupuncture, and this is my opinion. In my opinion, it's the same, no differences. The only differences is how to treat the people. The purpose, the aim, and the goal is the same. So we practitioners have to recover better than before for the patient. This is our purpose. So it depends on the practitioner. Each practitioner have their preferable. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Sorry, I estoy en ocupado, perdón. Voy a llamarte. Lo siento, perdón. Sí. Sí. That's why
we lost you for a moment. Could you repeat that again? So you were saying that there's really no difference between Chinese and Japanese except the way that you approach the treatments. And obviously, can you explain a bit more?
Yeah. The purpose is the same. Just the amount of the stimulation, I think. Generally, Japanese acupuncture gives the stimulation minimum to the patient. It depends on the constitution of the patient in the country as well. I think the Chinese people have the much stronger than the people in Japan. People in Japan have the skin in the constitution is much weaker than Chinese people. So some people can accept the strong stimulation, but most of the people don't like the strong stimulations. So that's why the way of the treatment are different. But the goal, the purpose, the aim are the same, I think. Yeah, this is my opinion.
Do you think, sorry to interrupt you, do you think there's also a cultural difference? Like I noticed, so this morning I went to the dentist and they were cleaning my teeth. And as I've got older, I'm more sensitive. I'm more sensitive to the device, whereas when I was younger, I didn't feel anything. Do you think it's really the Chinese people are stronger, or do you think that the Japanese people are just more sensitive to energy than the Chinese people?
It's a very interesting question. Yes. A little bit, I think the little bit different in the history. And our bodies, our human beings are affected a lot from the environment. So yeah, depends on the country. So in Europe, Asian, in Africa, all the people basically the same, but historically and genetically, they were living the different situations. So their body has been adapting the country, the place. So yeah, they have the same of the chi, but a little bit different quality. Yeah, some parts of the country, for example, some people have the much strong wei chi, but the other countries not so much. And so, and the climate, weather as well. In Japan, normally the very humid, so that's why we are a little bit stronger for the humid than the people living in the dry country. Yeah. So yeah. Okay.
It's very good. Thank you. I mean, I notice I practice physical therapy. I practice tui-na, and I notice in Ireland a lot of my patients, when they have tui-na, they want the pressure. They're deficient. They're tired, and they go, "Oh my God, gee." But then they actually enjoy it. They enjoy it because it's moving the blood. And many years ago, I used to receive a lot of foot massage, and I used to go to China, and I also had Japanese like reflexology. And actually the Japanese practitioner was, and I mean, the Chinese go very hard, but the Japanese person was using tools and sticks and going quite strong, you know. So I think, there is, for me, I definitely, personally, as a Westerner, I see a difference in constitution, but also I see a difference in people's like mental ability to withstand pain. Like one of my teachers, he lived in Tibet, and they were pulling out a tooth, and I said to him, do you not feel the pain? He had no medication, no drugs, no painkiller, and the dentist pulled out the tooth, and I said, do you feel the pain? He says, yes, I feel it, but I don't attach to it. I notice it, but I put my mind elsewhere. So, and I asked him, why is it he's able to do that? And he said, it's the way that he was taught, the way that he was brought up as a young person. So I do see very much correctly constitutional differences. And also there is kind of like a cultural difference, cultural attitude to pain. And I noticed with the Japanese style that the needling is more gentle. Am I correct?
Yes, I think so. Yeah, in honestly to say, there are many styles of Japanese acupuncture. Some of them are very strong, thicker needles than normal, but generally, I think gentle, very gentle for me también as well. Normally, I use the 0.20.
Okay.
0.20 or menos de 0.20. It depends on the sensitivity for the patient and the place of the point.
Yes. Yeah. And do you mainly treat pain, or can it be internal issues, or is it a combination? Like in Spain, you're in Spain now, I believe. So is it Cantabria you're in Spain?
Yeah.
And you notice differences in your patients?
Yes. My treatment, our style with the treatment is strengthen the autocuración. ¿Cómo se llama? All people have the potential or potential to the recovery by themselves, but most of them are dreaming. That's not working. So my style of acupuncture make this ability wake up and let them recovery by themselves.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So I mean, I see a lot of people post-COVID, and or even viral. It's, you know, any kind of virus really. And people, they recover somewhat, you know, so their normal level is here and they get to about here, but it's not enough, you know, like the body, the potential of the body is not enough. And so I think acupuncture has a great way of bringing that into harmony, back to, it's funny, when they go back to a normal state, they feel like they've got lots of energy and they can do loads of things. And I say to them, that's actually your normal, that's your normal state. That's not like any extra energy. You've just been brought back to your normal.
Yes, that's right.
You've forgotten. You've just forgotten.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I think I have the same opinion. We have to not a river, not above, not above. No, middle way is a better way. Yeah. This is a good way.
How did you discover your style of acupuncture? Like, what was the journey for you to discover it? For me, it was injury. I was badly injured as a martial artist, and I discovered acupuncture and physical therapy, tui-na, all of that to help me recover.
Yeah. At first, I started to my career of the practitioner as a kind of the chiropractor. Yeah, physiotherapy, manual therapist.
Yes.
And mostly is good for the mostly the pain, back pain, neck pain. Yeah, but I'd like to touch. I'd like to treat much deeper. Yeah, much their emotional issues or deep something problems inside their body. And I searched some therapy, and I found the acupuncture. Acupuncture has a very long history, and not scientifically, but a lot of the evidence of the experience for 2,000 years. So, and acupuncture and Oriental medicine has a philosophy, and this philosophy I like it a lot. Yes, I read some books, and all of the philosophy are much fit for me, and I'd like to know much more detail about that. And then I decided to go to the school for 3 years, and then they got a license of acupuncture in Japan, and after that, I started to teach acupuncture for overseas. Yeah, but my reason to learn the acupuncture is I'd like to know the system of the human body, how to cure, how to recovery of the human's body. This is my curiosity, and the other things is the acupuncture. For study acupuncture, unlimited. So I have to study for my life. This is my no acupuncture no make me bored.
No, that's true. I mean, I calculated I would have to live to about 550 years old to learn everything that I would like to learn, you know, which is crazy when you think about it, because, you know, last time I was studying in China, I spoke to a doctor there, and he said to me that, you know, it's a sad that a lot of the doctors in China are going mainly into Western medicine because it takes less time to qualify and to master it, you know, in a specific discipline. Whereas with Chinese medicine is a lifelong sort of constantly studying and going into many different realms, and it takes a lot longer to get good at. And that was their attitude. And also being a Western doctor meant that they could travel more freely to treat people in other countries. And I think that in the West, we're in a fortunate position that it is as you say, that the styles are frequent. There are many styles, and we're becoming more and more in the West exposed to these different styles. the first time I saw Japanese acupuncture being practiced was by a Western practitioner, and I asked him why, why do you choose this style? And he said, for me as a person, he said, for me, it works for me better. I get better results. I like it because it is elegant and always going for the root of the problem, and not always going for the quick fix. It's very much going to the heart of where the issue is. And the other thing he said to me was that he felt that the style that he practiced, which was like a 5-element style, was a snapshot. It was like a moment in time where acupuncture was being practiced a certain way. And I think his method, he would feel the pulse, yep, and then needle according to the pulse. But I know that there are palpatory styles where we might feel the abdomen, the hara, or maybe even the meridian to see if it's tender, and then adjust the prescription. And so could you explain a little bit more about the specific style that you are now at the moment teaching and helping people understand?
Yes, of course. And yes, our style of the acupuncture is based on the palpation. See, not only the palpation, for me, before the palpation, observation. Yeah. When the patient get into the room, the treatment, we have to look their face, their eyes, their voice. They listen to their voice, and from the walking style, and the posture. Yeah, all of their actions are informations. It's observations. So I always look their color of the face a little bit black, white, yellow. It depends according to the 5-element theory. Yeah, we guess they might have something problem the kidney if they have the face blacky. Yeah, and the tone of the voice, and if they have the voice very low, in this case they have the level of the chi low, very low, and especially the eyes shows us a lot of things, the level of the energy. And sometimes people cannot look directly to us. Yeah, the eyes are a little bit low, and the tone of the voice is very low. In this case, they have the low level of the chi, and they might have something problem of the mental issues. Yes. And then the next step is the little bit interview, of course. Yeah, why do you come here? On some problem you have, and medical history, family history, and medication taking, and the most important things in the interview is, I think, the lifestyle. Yeah, as you know, the lifestyle affects very, very much to our body. If they take for example, a lot of the processed food almost every day, every time, it's naturally they got sick. It depends on the people, but most of the case in the future they will got something problem, and this is a very important thing.
Okay, so obviously it's a big history that you take. And then in terms of treating a person, would you see them like multiple times a week, like twice a week, 3 times a week? Or what would be your process then once you've established what needs to be treated?
Yep. Mostly, basically, at first, 1 session per week. It depends on how much change. I always talk to my patient. before the 3 sessions, in the 3 sessions, if nothing change, in this case, my treatment doesn't work for you. So normally give me the 3 times for treatment. I try to find where is the blockage, where is the obstacle in your body, and how to release this obstacle. I need 3 times, 3 sessions. If not, I'm sorry, my treatment will not work well. And then every 3 sessions, I always ask them how to continue, or if they have nothing. In this case, okay, next time, when you feel something, let me know.
Very good. And do you use a combination of using like points on the back and the front, or are the points very distal, far away, like in the hands, or?
Yes, mostly it depends. But mostly I use the distal points to release some reflections on the body. In the palpation, mostly palpation, a lot of palpation, but mostly neck and abdomen. And release when we find something reflections in the abdomen or neck, mostly use the distal point to release these reflections.
Okay.
And sometimes, of course, use the local point as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. So it's quite flexible. You are not like rigid that you must do this method.
No. Yeah, no. I don't like this one. Yeah. I don't like it. Very restricted. You do this. Yeah. I don't like it. We can treat the people more flexibly. No. Yeah.
Very, very interesting because, many years ago, I'm going to say more than 20 years ago, I was looking at traditional Chinese medicine. In other words, the medicine that was created in the 1950s in China as a system for treating people. And I used to get quite annoyed that, I'd see 4 or 5 patterns, and then it was like the same points regardless. And then it was like the same points for like 15 treatments.
Yeah.
I figured, at some point, whether it's treatment 3 or treatment 15, they were going to feel better, because most of the points were very constitutional. And it was only much later on I met one of my teachers who's now passed on, and he was a Taoist priest, and he used to do some kind of needling that I'd never seen before. It was like, what is this? And then he was like, well, acupuncture is much older than TCM. And then later on, obviously, I studied other methods like balance method, Master Tong, some more recently Yamamoto scalp, which can be quite strong, the feeling in the head, and other styles more recently. But I think, for me, it's about, for my patients, is what will be the best result for them. And being more flexible means that you can change your approach, your style. You're not rigid. One of the dangers, I think, of being rigid is sometimes, even when you're not getting results, you keep doing the same thing anyway, hoping magically that things will change. And of course, they don't, because the person's chi is moving in a completely different direction. And do you notice for the people coming to you and for the students that you teach, they come because they're looking for a system that's easy to understand and easy to apply and gets results? Or do they come just more out of fascination with the differences between what you do and other systems? Or is it a combination perhaps of both?
Pardon?
Is it a combination of people coming to train with you because they want results, they need results in their clinic? Or is it more to do with fascination of what's the differences between Chinese and Japanese style?
I think I think that not all of the Japanese acupuncture, but my treatment, many people said to me they could relax deeper than normal. Yeah, I think that this is I can access to the deeper level. I think in this case, the very interesting phenomenon is that when first touch in the abdomen, their stomach starts to move. I think this is a very good sign. Their stomach chi already has moved. Yes, and so after explain this phenomenon to the patient, yeah, they like much more than before. Okay. Yeah, their body already know my treatment is good for their body.
Okay, so the kind of the message I'm getting that people like the treatment because it's deeper, more relaxing, but also they can sense as a patient the change after the first session or during the first session. Yes. And that's important feedback for the patient. And in terms of then, at the moment, are you teaching in Spain only, or are you traveling this year to other countries to teach?
Yes, and this year I already taught in Portugal, Lisboa, and the next month in March in Turin, and the April and May Lisboa again.
Okay.
Yeah, and Valencia in España.
Okay, very good. So you have good Spanish. I know Portuguese is a completely different language altogether, but we would be very interested, and I mean, obviously, we need to find out where people are listening to this this conversation. Would they be interested in learning the style that you teach? And perhaps you could give a little brief outline of what you initially teach people and what they can expect to learn.
Yes. My treatment is especially very gentle, but efficiency. It works well. So, and this treatment can strengthen their hearing ability. So we can treat the general whole. And then, as I said earlier, when we open their root of the energy, chi, blood, and the liquid, their body can automatically recover. We don't do nothing. They can recover by themselves. Mm-hmm. This is my aim. I'd like to make them recovery by themselves. Our job is that where is the blockage, obstacle, and how to release them. That's all. As the old Chinese said, if there is the flow of the chi, no dolor. Without the flow of the chi, with dolor. No dolor, pain. Sorry.
And yeah, I get you. Yeah. So you're very much concerned with finding where the blockage is, releasing that blockage, and then allowing everything to be processed. So maybe over 1 or 2 or 3 days, the person's now starting to heal and they can sense changes. And then as they come into you the next week, they can report to you what has changed within that week. Am I correct?
Yes, sure. Yeah.
Very good.
Yes. If they don't have the not so much problem deeper in the body, normally 1 or 2 sessions.
That's good.
Yeah. If they have something problem in the organs, much more.
Much more. Okay. Yeah. What I'm noticing in Ireland, in my practice, and it's obviously very different for everybody else, is that 80 to 90% of the conditions that I'm treating are of an excess type. So they're rooted in this idea of stagnancy, non-movement of chi in an organ is burdened, working too hard. And then there is a 10% of my clients that are very deficient, extremely deficient. They have, a chronic long-term issue. It may be even a serious issue, like a neurological issue. Do you see the same in Spain?
It's a little different.
Okay.
Yes. So now in Spain, many of the people, more than half, are the type of the deficiency. Not sometimes, sometimes people have the excess type. Yeah, but mostly they eat too much. As you know, the Spanish people eat 5 times a day, and dinner time is too much late.
Yes.
Yeah, more than less than 9 in the evening. It's early. Yeah, 9, 10, 11. It's too much late.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. And what do you think that does to the body if you're eating at 10 o'clock at night?
No, it's not good. And the people in here, they got used to this culture. So most of the people could adapt it, but some of the people don't. So sometimes for example, they have the stomach excess. In this case, I advise them to eat dinner much earlier, but they replied to me, it's impossible. The culture.
Crazy. Yeah, the culture is ruling their health.
Yes.
It's kind of scary.
Yeah, a lot of the culture.
You know, what I think has changed from all the traveling that I've done is I haven't been to Spain in a while, but last time I was there, I noticed that a lot of people were not taking, often in Spain, you'd find people would take a siesta and they would sleep, and rest for an hour and a half and lie down. And then I felt that that's the reason why perhaps they would work later into the night and eat at the end of their working day. But what I'm noticing now in Spain is people are not taking less and less that siesta. So now they're eating, as you say, an extra meal or an extra 2 meals a day because their siesta is no longer there. They're not resting. They're not sleeping.
I live in the North Spain. So North Spain, normally people don't take the siesta. But in the south of the Spain, Andalusia, I think still now people got sleep during the day, I think. Because in the summer, there is too much heat, too much hot.
Yes.
But the North, it's not.
Yes. Okay. I have a student actually in Burgos, Maria, and he does a lot of community acupuncture. So she might have like a yoga studio and maybe 20 people, lying down. And she said for her, she found that their mind is racing. They're thinking too much. They're busy. And they need that extra time to go into a very still state. So a lot of her acupuncture helps to slow the person down, reduce stress, bring the energy down. Do you find that in Spain has gotten very busy? People are running around doing too much?
Pardon.
Do you find where you're located, that people are very busy? They don't have time to rest properly, and this is causing disease?
Yes, this is a little bit problem in here, North Spain, because of the economic issues. Right. So some people, have a lot. They have to get much money for the family. So sometimes people work in the day and night and less sleep. This is a problem in here.
Yes. Yeah. Very good. And so in terms of, if people want to know more about what you do and where you're based, can we have a link to your website or information about I can add that on to the bottom of this podcast. And I also wanted to know, do you practice moxibustion? Do you use any moxa with your patients?
Yeah, sure. Not so much. I'm a specialist of the moxibustionist, but I use sometimes, not every time.
Okay.
But if their body need, I do.
Okay. How do you determine if the body needs it or not?
Moxa?
Yeah.
Moxa, yeah. If the point of the acupuncture point has cold and some stiffness or some pressure pain on the muscle, yeah, after the treatment, the movement got better. But some people complained to us when I pushed here, still pain. In this case, the moxa here, this pressure pain is gone.
Okay. Okay. And do you use the small moxa, like the rice grain moxa, or do you just use a normal?
Two types. If I direct to warm the acupuncture point, rice grain size,
Yeah.
and when I direct to release the tension of the muscle and release the pain, in this case, más o menos about tip of the small finger.
Okay.
This size.
Yeah. Yeah. Very good. What do you think is the biggest challenge for acupuncturists at the moment in the world? Do you think that we are seeing a change in people's health and that more and more people are coming to acupuncture? Are you seeing an increase in people's wants acupuncture?
Much more people?
Yeah, are you seeing people wanting to come for acupuncture? Because I know when I came to Ireland first 25 years ago, there was only a few people that knew of acupuncture. Now it's like everywhere, Dublin, Cork, all these different towns. Are you noticing a shift in Spain as well?
Yes. But so far in the Barcelona, in Madrid, there are too much acupuncture, but in here, no Spain, not so much. So in my case, still now there are a lot of field.
Okay. Yeah. So it seems to be a lot of them are concentrated in the capital. We see that here in Ireland as well, Dublin and Cork and Galway. They are the places where a lot of acupuncturists are. I practice in Dublin, in the capital, but I live quite far away from where I am, and my neighbors sometimes they'll knock on the door and they'll look for a treatment. It's quite funny. And sometimes I'm, if I'm there, I'll help them, of course. But I'm seeing that there's more awareness in Ireland. It's fantastic. We are definitely, and I feel that people are looking for something to help them outside of Western medicine. I think they feel that they've reached for general health. And as I remember saying to a doctor used to come to me and I said, "Why do you come to me? Why are you coming for this treatment? You're a doctor." And she said to me, "There's nothing that I can prescribe to any patient that can help make them feel better, overall. There's nothing that she can prescribe that can help the constitution of the person, help them thrive, help them be stronger. We don't have that. A lot of the times she would say to me, 80% of the time they're suppressing symptoms. And then the rest of the time they are sending people to consultants for more investigation, more tests." And that was a doctor, and I was really interested to see that she realized for herself, she understood the value of feeling well inside. And the reason why I think I've gotten so busy myself is because people just don't feel very well inside. They feel something's not right. They feel uneasy. They can't sleep well. The digestion isn't good. They're worrying. They're constantly stressed. And I do believe that acupuncture can really help bring people back into a better place. But the unfortunate part about it is you can help people, but they can still go back to their stress. So you make them feel better, and then they go back to their horrible job or a bad family life or whatever it is, or their poor diet. And I'm constantly saying to them, I can only help you so far. You have to try to do the rest yourself,
Yeah. I can agree with you. The 100%. Yeah, most of the people got sick or got problem because of the job, the situation of the job, and the relationship with the family, and but habit. Yes, if they, it's very difficult to change the relationship with the family. So in this case, they have to change their mind. But I know it's very difficult. But or just take distance of them.
Mm-hmm.
Also good. Yeah. We have to advise them these things. Sometimes they don't notice what is the problem.
Yes.
Yeah.
What made you choose to live in Spain? Why did you end up in Spain?
In honestly to say, I'd like to live in South America. So yeah, but I searched somewhere that I could work, and I found one clinic in here. So I started to work in Spain, in Cantabria here. But now I don't work this clinic. Yeah, I was the freelance in Spain.
Yes. Yeah. Very good. And do you notice a difference between Spain and Portugal in people's health?
Yes, I think the people in Portugal is much serious, not serious. Spanish people is much, how can I say, loose, much relax.
Okay.
Yeah, I think.
Okay, I get you. Yeah. I notice a difference between Ireland and the UK. UK people are very serious. Everything's must be done this way. Everything has to be very organized.
Yeah.
And what I find in Ireland is people are a lot more easygoing. Generally, they are stressed, and they do have this kind of very Irish people tend to have a kind of even when things are going bad, they still have a positive outlook on life. They just we'll get on with it, and everything. They have this saying, "It'll be grand. It'll be grand," which means it'll be fine no matter what happens. And I think that really does help. And what I really love about Irish people is that they talk, and they have a very vocal culture. They're very communicative in the community. And I think as a practitioner, that can really help. If you get good at what you do, the word spreads very quickly. Obviously, if you do a bad job, the word spreads even faster. So you have to have balance with your results. I'd like you to. Is there any messages you'd like to give people in Ireland if they're considering studying what you do? Is there a possibility we could possibly have you come to Ireland in the near future?
Yes. Now my style of acupuncture is based on the Kiiko style, as you said, as Anthony said. But now a little bit revolution for myself. So now I'm treated people 3 level. The heaven, earth, and human. Yes, this concept is very good for me. The 3 division, in other words, the Sanjiao system. So I applied this concept to the human body, and now so far I got a good result. So based on the palpation and find some reflection, and each reflection has each meaning. And if they have a lot of the reflections, all of the reflections normally has algo meaning, one meaning. all of the pain on the pressure pain had connections. So we found which point is better to release these reflections. So I think the one acupuncture point has a lot of the potential, right? Yeah. If we wish we could choose the correct point of the acupuncture, we could release all of the reflection with 1 point, 1 or 2 points. And I will teach you all how to find the correct point. We say the living point or life point. Yeah. It needs a little bit technique, but not so difficult. Yeah. If you learn this palpation method, you can find the living point, life point. Could release a lot of reflection and improve their healing ability. This is my style of acupuncture.
Very good. So you've created the style based on everything that you've learned before it, and obviously you've been clinically testing it on all your patients. That's very interesting. It's a good revolution. I learned a style of acupuncture many years ago that was heaven, man, earth, or heaven, human, earth. And it, for me, it was only really working on mental and emotional issues. I couldn't really get it. I mean, it can, in a way, help with pain. But it's very interesting that that there are a lot of people out there now realizing that if you study hard, if you work with it, you can discover a system that works for you even better, and if you can get your students to replicate that system and get the same results, then it's a valid system, because so many people teach acupuncture, but sometimes the students don't get the same results as the teacher. And I think it's important that people do learn something that is replicable. It's going to help all of us if we get good results, because the name of acupuncture then is elevated and is more in people's minds as a choice, as a health choice. So that's really interesting. So we're looking at then, hopefully we can discuss after the podcast, maybe not today, but in the next few weeks, look at perhaps organizing enough students to come, and we look some dates, whether it's this year or next year. And we'd love to have you over here in Ireland. And I think you'd enjoy seeing the different kinds of constitutions that we have here, and the personalities that come. Do you sometimes struggle with the palpation if a person's very big? I struggle with very heavy people to get in there and feel the
Sometimes, not sometimes. Many people in Spain have the very big belly. In this case, a little bit harder. Sometimes we have to move the flesh and palpate like this. But most of them have some reflection on the skin, not to press too hard. The people with the big belly, I don't try to push hard. Just palpate surface of the skin and find some things or some deficiency, some depression. And this is the reflection, I think.
Okay. Very good. And if that didn't work, could you judge by the pulse and the constitution, the face, and work out a way of treating them?
And the pulse?
If you couldn't, for whatever reason, you don't find anything, can you look at the face, the pulse as well? Are there other ways you can diagnose?
Yes. Well, most of the case, at least one something they have. If not, sometimes I use the pulse. Or at first, I like to teach them the teishin, contact needle as well.
Oh yes. Okay.
If the people doesn't have nothing, the reflection. In this case, sometimes there is. I know. Sometimes at first I use the teishin and improve the chi circulation, and then the palpation again.
Yes.
They showed something.
Yes. Okay. Very good. Yeah. Very good. So you're basically opening the circuit so you can get a clearer diagnosis.
Yes. In
Very
this case,
good.
their Wei-Chi are closed. So at first, we have to open their Wei-Chi. In
Yes.
this, nothing reflection. Maybe they protect all of the body. They cannot touch their body. So in this case, release the tension of the Wei-Chi and open the Wei-Chi, and then we can touch their real body.
Yeah. And just for those people who don't know what a teishin is, could you explain? Because some people have never heard that terminology before.
Okay. Yeah. I think there is this question. So I already prepared the teishin. And this is one of the teishin made with titan.
Yep.
Yeah. Titan has less allergy here, the metal. And this one as well. And then this one is the copper.
Copper. Mm-hmm.
Copper. This one is the gold plated. Not the pure gold. Pure gold is very expensive.
Yeah, sure.
And this one, this type, also titanium.
Huh.
Yeah, this one is the other type of the teishin. Teishin for the pain, most of the pain, is stimulation on the nervous system. This is the one of the teishin I use a lot for the pain. So this one, this technique is very good.
Excellent.
Sometimes the pain is gone just 2 minutes.
Excellent. That's really interesting. I have a couple of students who they live in Europe, but they live in countries where they're not allowed to pierce the skin. So for whatever reason, the rules dictate that you have to be a doctor or a tattoo artist, you know. So I think these non-inserting acupuncture is perfect for helping people.
Yeah, sure. I always teach my patients to stimulate by themselves with the toothpick.
Very good. Yeah.
This is the toothpick.
Yeah.
Like yeah. 7 toothpicks with the tape and stimulate by themselves.
Very good. Very good. That's brilliant. That's so ingenious. And so I want to say a big thank you. You've been fantastic. You've given us a lot of insights. We would love to see you here in Ireland. I will try to help make it happen, myself and Tara at least. And if anybody, I presume, do you teach in different languages? Is it mainly Spanish you teach in, or do you also teach in English, Portuguese? Do you have translators? How does it work?
No, in Ireland, I think that I can teach in English without a translator. Yeah,
brilliant. Just thinking in case some people want to come to Spain or they want to go to Lisbon in Portugal, but we would like to have you here. That would be great. So we will try to make it happen. Is there any last messages you want to give to the audience before we wrap up?
Okay. I hope I could meet many people and apply my style of acupuncture to help much more people. I'd like the people, practitioners, to help much more people with less stimulations and give the much relaxation for them and pull up their hearing ability. And this is my purpose. And this is my wish. Yes. Not. Yeah.
Yes. Not. So in other words, I think that the people that are watching this who have an interest, there's perhaps practitioners out there that maybe have trained in a very one style and maybe thinking they'd like to explore something else. I think this could be a good opportunity. I think also people who are not really fans of heavy stimulation, for whatever reason, they don't like doing it on the patients. This could also be an option. I think that it's always worth, as a practitioner, growing, because sometimes you fall in love with the style. You fall in love with something and you go with it and you run with it. And I think when you have a passion for what you do, it's a lot easier to have a working day when you really love what you do. So I'm inviting anyone who has any questions or any comments they want to reach out to myself or Toru. Please leave the comments below on this. We will put this podcast out on various platforms, including Spotify and YouTube, for people to watch. And Buzzsprout is the podcast forum I use, or the hosting platform. So it will be there for everyone to listen to. I really thank you for your time. It's been fascinating. I hope we get to meet each other soon. And thank you to everyone for listening. And thank you, Toru, for your time.
Thank you.